Welcome back guys. So in this video I'll be explaining you the working of SteamOS, how it runs Windows based games on a Linux based platform. After that I'll be showing you gameplays of some AAA games. Now I have the 64 GB variant of Steam Deck. Out of the box we get around 43 GB of free space, and you guessed it right, it's not enough for most of the AAA games. For example, the next generation version of Witcher 3 consumes around 52 GB of space. So in order to expand the storage of my Steam Deck, I installed a 512 GB memory card. I am using Samsung's Evo Plus. It's A2 rated speed. Now I did not encounter any performance issues when running games from the memory card, largely due to the fact that the shader cache and Compatdata files for the games were automatically stored in the internal storage. On Steam Deck, whenever you download any game from Steam, SteamOS automatically downloads the Compatdata and shader cache files for that game. Since pre-compiled shader cache files are already present on Steam Deck, it does not need to compile the shaders on the fly when we are playing the games. This helps in reducing stuttering. Moving on to Compatdata, it basically contains the game files that are present on the C drive of Windows. For example, folders like My Documents and Users. These can be the Windows configuration and cache files. For example, on Steam Deck, the Compatdata file size for WW2K22 is around 8.1 GB. So these files can easily eat up your deck's internal storage. We do have the option to transfer the shader cache and Compatdata files to the memory card. Generally, it is not recommended. This can result in stuttering. Will hit the limitations of the memory card. Internal storage is way faster than the memory card, even the eMMC internal storage of Steam Deck. So now I'm going to show you how to access the shader cache and Compatdata files. I have connected my mouse and keyboard to Steam Deck for the purpose of easier navigation. These are the USB dongles for the mouse and the keyboard connected to this USB hub. The hub has been connected to Steam Deck via a Type-C to USB adapter. So I'll just switch to the desktop mode. Press the Steam button here. Then click on power. Then click on switch to desktop. This is the desktop mode, just like a normal PC. We have this Firefox browser. This is the Dolphin file manager, and this is Discover Software Center app. From here we can download different apps for our Steam Deck. Let me just open the file browser, expand it, go to the home section here. First thing you need to make sure is that you have checked the show hidden file setting. Just click on this hamburger icon here, then enable show hidden files. There you go. In order to access the shader cache files, just open this folder .steam, then open Steam folder here, then open the Steam apps folder here, and you can see guys, we have these two folders, Compatdata and shader cache. I have installed around 7 to 8 AAA games. Let me just show you the size for these folders. First we have the Compatdata folder, properties, and its size is around 12.4 GB guys, you can see. And this is the size for the shader cache folder, 2.5 GB. Now if I open Compatdata folder, these folders are present inside this folder. These are basically the Steam IDs of the games. Using these IDs you can identify the game. For example, let me just copy this Steam ID, rename, Ctrl+C. Now if you go to ProtonDB website and enter this ID, you will get to know about the name of the game. So I'll just open Firefox browser, ProtonDB, just paste the Steam ID here, enter. So this is WW2K22, and let me just show you the size of its Compatdata. Oh my god, 8.4 GB. On Windows, this game creates a cache file in the users folder. Let me just show you this. Drive C, then open users, go to Steam user, app data, local, www2k22. There's the cache file pre-baked cache.bin. Its size is around 8 GB. So basically all of the Windows based configuration files are present in the Linux based SteamOS. This is why if you have the 64 GB variant of Steam Deck, avoid installing any games on the internal storage. So once you're done with the games, just delete these Compatdata and the shader cache files. Coming back to ProtonDB, you can use this website to check the Steam Deck compatibility for any game. Let me just search for Resident Evil 5. There it is. You can see guys, it does not have the deck verified status. It is actually unsupported, and I tried running this game on my Steam Deck. Out of the box it did not work, but with the help of the fixes that were mentioned here, I was able to get this game working on my deck. I will show you its gameplay in the later part. I used these fixes. Set compatibility to GE Proton 727. Now this information is a bit outdated. I just used the experimental version of Proton and the game worked fine for me. Experimental version of Proton is available in Steam Store itself. GE Proton is not made by Valve, unlike Proton. It's a custom version of Proton. Proton is a compatibility layer that allows Windows games to run on Linux. You'll find the stable and experimental builds of Proton in Steam itself. But in order to download GE Proton, you need to install Proton Qt application from the Discover Store. For most of the games, you'll be fine with the Proton version supplied by Valve. But for some games, you need to use GE Proton. In this video, I'll be running Crysis Remastered Edition from Epic Games Store, and I'll be using this version of Proton. So let me just install Proton Qt app. Open the Discover app here. Click on search and then type in Proton. There's Proton Up Qt. I've already installed it, so I'll just launch the application from here. I've already installed this version of GE Proton. Its size is around 1 GB. In order to install any other version of it, just click on add version here. Select the compatibility tool GE Proton. Then under the version tab, click and look for the other versions. No newer version available, so I'll just stick with it. Once you have selected your version, just click on install and the download will start. Once you're done with the installation, GE Proton will show up in the compatibility tab of Steam for any game. Back to the Resident Evil 5 fix. Now we need to add this line to launch options and just select it. DXVK, let me just explain you what this is. It's an open source Vulkan based translation layer for Direct 3D 9, 10 and 11 APIs that allows us to run games designed for Windows on Linux systems through Wine. In simpler terms, games that use DirectX 9, 10 and 11 on Windows are playable on SteamOS using DXVK Vulkan translation layer. DirectX does not exist on Linux. So let me just add this line. Just open Steam. This is not the gaming mode. Opening it from the desktop mode. Now search for the game. There is Resident Evil 5. Click on settings cog here. Then click on properties. Just click on general tab here. You can see the launch options. I have already pasted the text here. You can close it now. Resident Evil 5 requires running games for Windows Live, but there is a way to completely disable it. We need to download one DLL file. Link has been given here. Just click on it. Scroll down and then click on download here. Download complete. I'll just open it. Just need to extract the DLL file from this archive file. I have already done that. Extraction process is very simple. Open the archive file. There's the DLL file. Drop it here. Already present. Overwrite. Close. So just copy this DLL file. Now I need to paste it in the install directory of Resident Evil 5. In my case, I have installed the game on my memory card. So just open the memory card directory here. It's under removable devices, primary. Now let me show you where the games are present on the memory card. Open Steam apps, then open common. You can see the names of the games, very easy. Resident Evil 5, this is the install directory of this game. On Windows you can see the exe file here, so just paste the DLL file here. I have already done that. Overwrite, so I'll just cancel it. There's a file. Now we are ready to run Resident Evil 5. The reason I'm showing you all of this is that even when a game is not marked as deck verified, we can still run the game if we can apply a few fixes. It's a PC after all. So now I'm going to show you how to download games from your Epic Games library. I'm using Heroic Games Launcher. Just search for it on the Discover app. Already installed, so I'll just launch it. I've already logged into my Epic Games account. So let me just show you the settings for Crysis Remastered. Already installed on my deck. Need to configure it first before launching. Under the Wine section, select Proton GE742. This is the custom version of Proton that we downloaded from Proton Qt app, and you can see the other versions of Proton 7 and Experimental. These were supplied by Valve itself. I'll stick with GE Proton. We are done here. So now I'm going to add Heroic Launcher to Steam. Just open Steam from here. The idea here is to run Heroic Launcher from the gaming mode. Just click on add a game here, then click on add a non-Steam game. You need to search for Heroic Launcher. I have already added it to Steam, so it's not showing up here. Just for the purpose of explaining, once you have selected it, check this box and click on add selected programs. It should show up here. There's Heroic Game Launcher. Now when I return to Steam gaming mode, Heroic Launcher should show up there. Now guys, these were some basic things that every Steam Deck owner should be aware of. Another thing that I want to share with you is the battery percentage. Just click on battery here. Wanted to show you my deck's battery health, 100%. I have enabled the battery percentage. In order to do that, just click on the hamburger icon here and check this setting, show battery percentage on icon. Now I'll just return to Steam gaming mode. Return to gaming mode. Alright, now I'm in the gaming mode. So the first game that I'll be testing is Resident Evil 5. You can check for any game Steam Deck compatibility from Steam itself. Just go to game info. Here it is mentioned this game is unsupported, and you can see here guys, the Proton version that I'm using for the game is mentioned here, Proton Experimental. Now before I run it, let me just show you how to remap some controls. I'll be mapping the L3 and R3 buttons of Steam Deck to the backside grip buttons. This is the L4 button, this is the L5 button, and on the right side we have R4 and R5 buttons. I don't want to press the sticks of Steam Deck, so let me just show you how mapping is done. Just tap on this controller icon, per game profile. You can view the layout from here. I'll just select edit layout. So for the back grip buttons, check the A button section. You can see back grips, L4. I have already selected left stick click. For you it will be completely blank. I'll assign keys to R4, L5 and R5. So just select this, and you can see I have selected the L3 button. Now I'll do the mapping for the R4 key. I'll assign A key to R4 key. So all I need to do is select A key from here. It has been assigned to R4 back grip button. For L5 back grip button, I'll map it to left trigger. So select this slot. Now select the left trigger. R5 back grip button. select its corresponding slot. Now select the right trigger. Almost every control can be remapped from here. Amazing utility. D-pad buttons, you can assign any other keys to them. This is just amazing. Steam Deck also supports gyro based controls. You can enable or disable them from here. I have set it to joystick. If you want to disable it, just select none. In order to use the gyro based controls, we need to press and hold either the right analog stick or the trackpad. Then we can move the Steam Deck. I'll showcase this in Resident Evil 5. I am done with the controller configuration. Let's start the game. Alright, the game has started. Now let me just show you the per game setting. Go to the performance tab and make sure you have enabled this setting. Use per game profile. Now all of these settings apply only to this game that we are playing. I have set frame limit to, frame rate limit to 60. Refresh rate set to 60. PS3 era game. Steam Deck can handle it. Not using FSR. I have set the performance overlay level to 3. So here you can see the real-time FPS. Xbox controller detected. These are the settings. 1280 by 800 pixels resolution. Frame rate set to 60 FPS. Anti-aliasing set to 2x. All settings maxed out. Alright guys, the game has started. You can see it's consuming around 1.3 GB of VRAM, 3.4 GB of RAM, and you can see the CPU and GPU usage here. Temperatures are also shown. Power draw for the entire system is around 9.5 watts. Estimated battery life, I can play the game for about 3.5 hours. So in order to sprint, I'll just press the back grip button. Don't need to press the left analog stick. Frame pacing graph. We want it to be a flat line for a stable experience. Crazy people. I'll just skip the cutscene. All hell is going to break loose. This gate is locked. What's going on? Explosion. I'm stuck here. Haven't played the game in a long time.
Come in. The locals are hostile. The gate is sealed, and we're trapped. We need backup, and we need it right now.
Roger that. Just sit tight. I'm on my way.
Did you hear that, Sheva? Help's on the way.
Got it. Just hope he gets here quick.
Yeah, I needed to show you the gyro based controls. So I'll just press and hold the trackpad, move the Steam Deck. You can see gyro controls are working. Oh my god, what's going on? Who's this guy? I'll keep the gameplay short. This game runs very nicely. Let's test another game. 60 degrees Celsius temperatures. Exit. Now I'll be running the Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Next generation update has been applied. Let me just show you its Steam Deck status, game info, Steam Deck compatibility verified, and this is the version of Proton that I'm using, 7.0-5. Let's start the game. Now it supports DirectX 12 on Steam Deck. Game was crashing when I selected DirectX 12, so I just stick with DirectX 11. The new next gen update has made the game more demanding. From here you can select the different versions of DirectX. Stick with DirectX 11 for the time being. This launcher has been added with the new update. If you use DirectX 12 in this game, you will get access to FSR2. So let me just show you the settings. Graphics. Anti-aliasing set to TAAU. Most of the settings are set to medium. I have enabled these effects. Display setting resolution set to 1280 by 800 pixels. Let's start the game. You can set the brightness level from here. Let's go to settings, display. I have set it to around 25%. Now this is a very demanding game, guys. Next generation update of Witcher 3 has been applied. Check out the detailed textures. Wow, the game looks gorgeous. So we are getting around 45 FPS.
Run, Roach.
Okay, need to check the notice board. I used to get around 50 FPS with the older version of Witcher 3. Here we are getting around 40 FPS. Game is still playable. Not observing stuttering for the time being. What's this? Character panel. Yeah, back to the game. Looks so cool. Seems to be a new camera angle. I'll just engage in combat. Yeah, there are some creatures here. I'll select Igni. You can see we are hitting the GPU bottleneck. That's not a bad thing. Resources are fully utilized. Estimated battery remaining 1 hour 16 minutes. You can plug in the power cable and continue playing. Deck supports pass through. Yeah, this area is demanding. FPS dropped down to 32. Now we are getting around 40 FPS. In this case, it's just better to cap the FPS at 40. You can even cap the refresh rate at 40 Hz. Let me just show you this. First, I'll drop down the refresh rate to 40. Now frame rate limit set to 40. Back to the game. Achievement unlocked. So now I'm going to test the next game, GTA 5. This is its game info. Status is playable. This game has minor graphics display issues on Steam Deck. I'm using Proton Experimental. It is selected by Valve. The exhaust fan of my Steam Deck is very silent. I'm impressed by its performance. Let me just show you the settings for the game. These are the graphics settings using DirectX 11. Resolution set to 1280 by 800 pixels. FXAA anti-aliasing enabled. The settings set to almost 50%. Texture quality set to high. Rest of the settings here are set to normal. VRAM is allocated automatically. Here it's showing almost 6 GB of VRAM is available. Game is consuming around 1800 MB of VRAM. So let's start the game. Alright guys, game has started. I'm in the city area. I'll be driving around here. We are getting around 60 FPS. That's really good to see. Let me just hijack a vehicle. Game is running from an SD card.
Give me that card, dog.
Let's drive around the city. I didn't observe any texture pop-in issue.
Hey, girl, what up? Ooh, too close.
I am driving carefully. Size of this game is around 108 GB guys. Let me just create mayhem. I think I have a shotgun. Yeah, time to kill people.
Yourself now, huh?
What happened to that guy? I have a 1-star wanted level. Yeah, time to engage in combat. I'm hearing the siren. Okay, there's the copper.
Yeah, come the fuck on.
Still getting 60 FPS. Just a few hiccups here and there. Chopper is here. I won't be surviving this. Oh no, tire got punctured. Now I'll be running WWE 2K22. Here it is marked as unsupported. I did encounter bugs when I was running this game using Valve's Proton. I observed cracking of audio and random crashing of the game. All of these bugs were fixed when I switched to GE Proton 742. I downloaded it from Proton Qt application. Showed you this in the earlier part of the video. So in order to change the Proton compatibility, just open the game setting from here. Go to properties. Go to compatibility tab here. Check this setting. Force the use of a specific Steam Play compatibility tool. And from the drop down list, select the version of Proton that you want to use. I am using GE Proton. We also need to run the game in offline mode. So just press the Steam button here. Then go to settings. Go to internet. Enter offline mode. Wi-Fi disabled. Let's start the game. Alright, you can see the API here, VKD3D. It's basically the Vulkan translation for DirectX 12. Let me just show you the settings. Texture quality set to standard. VSync disabled. Model quality set to standard. Shadows enabled. These settings are set to high. Audience density set to 100. Depth of field and motion blur enabled. Let's start the game. I'll be playing as AJ Styles. We'll be fighting against Bobby Lashley. Alright guys, the game has started. Here we are getting around 60 FPS.
Striking combination. Phenomenal.
Lashley is down.
Soft block. I think AJ Styles may have some of the strongest in-ring instincts we've ever seen here in WWE. Does that natural-born ability make him an exceptionally tough opponent?
Lashley is powerful.
He's not impossible to beat.
I could have countered that move, my bad. Okay, that worked.
If you're gonna get the win, it's gonna take absolutely everything you've got and then some.
So when the hardware of my Steam Deck is maxed out, temperature can go up to 82, 83 degrees Celsius. Nothing to be worried about.
Starting back to his feet, but he might not know where he is.
AJ is groggy. Lashley did not do anything.
Whatever's playing here can be good.
Oh my god, that must have hurt.
AJ Styles looking a little out of his element. If he can hold the line here, he'll be in a good position.
What is Lashley doing? High risk maneuver.
From the top. Oh God, that's a bad landing. Was trying to make a big
I dodged it.
but there was no water in the pool.
Look at the shadow quality. Very impressed by the performance of this game on Steam Deck. And this is marked as not supported, not verified.
Oh, colliding with a barricade.
So now I'm going to test the next game.
On drag. Very nice.
I'll be running Crysis Remastered Epic Games version. So let's launch Heroic Games Launcher from Steam Gaming Mode. Yes, Crysis. Just scroll down. Tap on Play Now. Using GE Proton SAN 42. Size of the game 20 GB. These are the video settings. Resolution set to 1280 by 800 pixels. Preset set to medium. Let's start the game. I have set the resolution to this for all of the games. Alright guys, the game has started. And me up ahead. We are getting around 60 FPS. That's really good to see. Lighting looks beautiful. There's my teammate.
Come on, let's get to Aztec.
Prophet, I'm not alone out here. What have you got, Aztec? APA, four-man patrol. Have you been compromised? Negative. But they're close. Wait, something's...
The game is pushing deck to its limits.
Aztec, talk to me. Madre Santísima. Aztec.
In order to conserve battery, you can always limit the FPS to 30.
Help me! No, man, just get to him now. Go!
Estimated battery time 1 hour. CPU temperature reaching almost 84 degrees Celsius there.
Better stick to armor. Never know when you
No signs of throttling. So guys, I'll end the video here. I hope you found it useful. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.